Welcome to the Pencil Bob channel. I hope you enjoy my stories. Please like and subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you never miss out. Now on with the stories.
I'm seething with frustration as I sit down to write this. The ongoing audacity displayed by our HOA management company is beyond belief. Having lived in this house for 5 years now, I've repeatedly encountered obstacles whenever I've tried to make even the most minor changes to my property. Each time I submit a proposal, it seems to vanish into a labyrinth of red tape and unnecessary hurdles, leaving me exasperated and disheartened. The constant resistance and bureaucratic entanglements make it abundantly clear that any attempt to exercise my rights as a homeowner is met with unwarranted opposition and frustrating delays. The latest incident was just a few days ago. I decided I wanted to plant some bushes along the fence line in my backyard. It's a small thing, right? I mean, who doesn't love a few nicely manicured bushes to add some curb appeal to their home? So I put in a request to the management company, thinking it was just a formality. I mean, it's my property after all. But no, of course not. They had to deny my request. And when I called to ask why, the woman on the phone told me it was because my request was incomplete. Apparently, I was supposed to include the type of mulch I would be using and the color of it. Are you kidding me? I didn't even think to include that information because it seemed so trivial. But what really got my blood boiling was when I mentioned to her that technically, I don't need permission to plant bushes in my own backyard. That's when she dropped the bombshell. Anything you do outside of your home that is outside needs approval. I was taken aback. That's not what the CC&Rs say at all. I've lived in this community long enough to know that the CC&Rs are the rules that govern what we can and can't do with our properties. And I've read them cover to cover. There's nothing in there that says I need permission to plant bushes in my backyard. In fact, the only section that even mentions planting or gardening is Section 3.17, which specifically states that no planting or gardening is allowed in the common facilities. That's it. There's no mention of individual properties. I attempted to reason with the woman on the phone, but it was like talking to a wall. She stubbornly parroted the same scripted response, devoid of any understanding or empathy. Any exterior changes require prior approval. Her robotic insistence only fueled my frustration further. No matter how I tried to explain my situation or the simplicity of the change I wanted to make, she remained unmoved, sticking to the rigid protocol without considering the context or practicality of my request. It was a maddening experience that left me feeling unheard and powerless in the face of bureaucratic rigidity. I then quoted the CC&R to her. 3.17 Use restrictions affecting common facilities and adjunct properties. The right of use of the common facilities shall be strictly subject to the following. B. No planting or gardening by owners shall be permitted within the common facilities, and no fences, hedges, or walls or other obstructions shall be erected or maintained upon or over the common facilities, except such as are installed by declarant in connection with the construction of the initial improvements thereon, or such as are subsequently approved by the board of directors of the association. I ended up getting into a bit of a disagreement with her, which I regret. I know I shouldn't let these people get under my skin, but it's hard not to when they're so clearly in the wrong. And now I'm worried that if I go ahead and plant my bushes, she'll come after me, just to prove a point. It's not just about the bushes, though. It's about the principle of the thing. I'm tired of feeling like I need permission to do every little thing on my own property. I'm tired of being treated like a child who can't be trusted to make my own decisions. And I'm especially tired of the incompetence of the people who run our HOA. I've heard horror stories from other neighbors about the management company's overreach and bullying tactics. I've seen it firsthand, too. They're always sending out letters and fines to people for the most minor infractions. It's like they're just looking for ways to exert their power and control over us. I wish I could afford to move out of this community and into a place where I have more freedom to do what I want with my property. But for now, I'm stuck here, dealing with the whims of the HOA management company. As I sit here, still fuming, I've decided to take a different approach. Instead of planting bushes, I'm going to plant banana trees. That's right, banana trees. I've always wanted to try my hand at growing my own bananas, and now seems like the perfect time. And who knows, maybe the HOA will try to come after me for that too. But I'm ready for them. I'll make sure to document every step of the process from planting to harvesting. And if they try to give me any grief, I'll be ready to fight back. It's time for us homeowners to take a stand against the tyranny of the HOA management company. It's time for us to take back control of our own properties. So stay tuned. I'll be providing frequent updates on my journey with the banana tree. Perhaps this endeavor will not only document my personal growth as a gardener but also spark inspiration in others. Who knows, this small experiment might just ignite a movement towards more sustainable urban gardening or foster a newfound appreciation for homegrown produce. Together, we could be witnessing the beginnings of something transformative, where a simple banana tree becomes a symbol of resilience and community empowerment. I know your pain. My HOA pulled the same nonsense. They just declared that any outside changes are subject to board approval, even though the CC&Rs have put lawn decorations and plants outside of the HOA's oversight. The little tyrants just want to control everything. Exactly this. I replaced my AC earlier this year to my condo, and our CC&Rs and rules specify 5 to 6 outside common area additions that don't need approval. One of which is AC condensers in the builder's original locations. When they contacted me regarding, my only response was a screenshot of their own governing documents. Lulz were had. Malicious compliance. List every tool, down to the brand name and specs. List the mulch type, color, size, etc. Soil down to the amounts of compost if you can, etc. Make it as technically accurate and detailed as possible. You aren't planting a rose bush, it's a Rosa rubiginosa. You will use X gallons of dihydrogen monoxide per day, etc., etc. This is your backyard, as in, the one that no one sees. If so, I guess I'm a bit surprised that's actually part of your rules. Front yard, especially if you're in a townhouse, etc. Okay, I guess I could maybe kinda see that, but backyard is really bizarre to me. Don't argue, it's not worth the effort. Just be polite, play dumb and ask, oh, can you show me the CC&R? I want to make sure I do it all correctly. Force them to show you the rule. If it's not in the rules, PFFFT, they have no leg to stand on and can get bent. Arguing is not worth it. Hold their feet to the fire instead by requesting to see the rule that applies, to make sure you do the rest of your project by the book. And if it's not a CC&R, tell them to get FD. Homeownership is often seen as the pinnacle of the American dream. Buying your own piece of land, a place to call home, where you can paint the walls whatever color you want, and grow your favorite flowers in the front yard. But what if that dream came with strings attached? What if, along with your new house, you also inherited a set of rules and regulations that dictated everything from the height of your fence to the color of your mailbox? Welcome to the world of homeowners associations, or HOAs. A concept that promises order and harmony but often delivers frustration and resentment instead. Originally conceived as guardians of property values and community aesthetics, HOAs have evolved into complex organizations with the power to control almost every aspect of a homeowner's life, from the mundane, like the type of plants you can grow, to the intrusive, such as regulating how many cars you can park in your own driveway. HOAs have become notorious for their micromanagement and sometimes draconian enforcement of rules. The premise of an HOA sounds reasonable enough at first glance. Pooling resources to maintain shared amenities, ensuring that everyone contributes to the upkeep of communal spaces, and safeguarding property values by maintaining a uniform standard across the neighborhood. But in practice, the reality can be far more contentious. Take the case of the Smiths, a young couple excited to move into their first home in a picturesque neighborhood governed by a strict HOA. They quickly discover that their enthusiasm for homeownership is dampened by a barrage of letters from the HOA board, criticizing minor infractions like leaving a garbage can visible from the street or failing to trim shrubs to the exact specifications outlined in the community guidelines. What began as a dream of independence and personal expression soon turns into a bureaucratic nightmare, where every decision about their property is scrutinized and subject to approval by a committee of their neighbors. The Smiths are not alone in their frustration. Across the country, stories abound of homeowners locked in battles with their HOAs over issues that seem trivial to outsiders, but can be deeply personal and financially burdensome to those affected. A homeowner in Florida faced hefty fines for painting her front door a shade of blue not pre-approved by the Architectural Review Committee. In California, a retiree found himself embroiled in a legal dispute with his HOA over installing solar panels on his roof. A move he believed was both environmentally responsible and economically prudent, but one that clashed with the association's stringent aesthetic standards. Critics argue that HOAs wield too much power with too little accountability, often operating with opaque decision-making processes and limited avenues for dissent. Homeowners who dare to challenge the authority of their HOA risk facing hefty fines, liens on their property, or even foreclosure. A stark reminder of the disproportionate influence these associations can have over the lives of their members. But defenders of HOAs insist that these organizations play a crucial role in maintaining order and preserving property values within communities. They argue that without HOAs, neighborhoods could quickly deteriorate into disrepair as individual homeowners prioritize personal preferences over collective interests. By establishing and enforcing rules, HOAs seek to create a cohesive environment where everyone benefits from shared standards of cleanliness, safety, and aesthetic appeal. Yet, for many homeowners, the benefits of living in an HOA-governed community come at a steep cost, not just in terms of financial obligations, but also in terms of personal freedoms. The very rules designed to enhance the attractiveness of a neighborhood can feel stifling to those who crave autonomy and creative expression in their own homes. Restrictions on exterior renovations, limitations on recreational activities, and prohibitions on displaying political signs or religious symbols can clash with deeply held beliefs about individual rights and liberties. Moreover, the financial burden imposed by HOAs can be substantial. In addition to monthly or annual dues, homeowners may face special assessments for unexpected repairs or improvements deemed necessary by the HOA board. These assessments, often levied without advance notice, can strain household budgets and catch homeowners off guard, leading to resentment and distrust towards the very organization entrusted with safeguarding their community's interests. The issue of HOAs also raises broader questions about governance, democracy, and community cohesion. Are these associations truly representative of their members' interests, or do they prioritize conformity and control at the expense of diversity and individuality? Should homeowners be compelled to relinquish some degree of autonomy in exchange for the perceived benefits of living in a managed community? And what role, if any, should government regulators play in overseeing the operations of HOAs to ensure fairness and transparency? In recent years, discontent with HOAs has fueled calls for reform and even abolition in some quarters. Advocacy groups have emerged to support homeowners facing legal challenges or seeking to change HOA policies through grassroots activism. State legislatures have debated proposals to strengthen homeowner rights and increase accountability within HOAs, balancing the need for community standards with the desire for individual autonomy. As the debate over HOAs continues to evolve, one thing remains clear. The tension between collective responsibility and personal freedom lies at the heart of the homeowner association dilemma. For some, HOAs represent a necessary evil, an imperfect solution to the challenges of community living in an increasingly complex world. For others, they symbolize an unwelcome intrusion into private life, a reminder that even within the walls of one's own home, freedom may come with strings attached. Ultimately, the future of HOAs may hinge on finding a delicate balance between order and liberty, between communal harmony and individual expression. As homeowners navigate the maze of rules and regulations governing their communities, they will continue to grapple with fundamental questions about rights, responsibilities, and the meaning of home in an age of ever-changing expectations and aspirations. I firmly believe that homeowners associations should either be heavily regulated or outlawed completely. The primary reason for this stance is that HOAs often wield too much power over homeowners. Stifling their freedom and autonomy, these organizations, which are supposed to maintain property values and provide a sense of community, frequently morph into authoritarian entities that dictate every aspect of homeowners' lives. From restricting exterior paint colors to fining residents for minor infractions, HOAs can be overly intrusive and oppressive. Furthermore, they often lack transparency and accountability, making it difficult for homeowners to challenge their decisions. The consequences of non-compliance can be severe, including fines, legal action, and even foreclosure. This is unacceptable in a country that values individual liberty and property rights. Heavy regulation or outright abolition of HOAs would help protect homeowners from these abuses of power and ensure that they can truly enjoy their properties without undue interference.
I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.